So you said do an intro and then like you're doing the intro, but I'm not recording. So Cassidy, what are we talking about today?
So this coming up episode is actually an internal conversation that we were having in prep for our batch recording session that ended up turning into a phenomenal episode based on, the decisions that we were making, the technical aspects and leverage points that we were using for accountability, but also just simplicity and the results. So we dive through, right? I just crossed my 30-pound weight loss goal at 103 days. And Rhonda has a bit of a competitive spirit and she's like, all right, yes, let's do it. So, she was sharing an update with me and I won't spoil the episode, but that is where we pick up in that conversation is Rhonda sharing her incredible update already, just a few days into, her decision and what her goal is and the way that she's leveraging the technology of accountability through the app. So we hope you enjoy.
Hey there, if you like this video, make sure to click the subscribe button so that we can let you know the next time that we drop a new video. So let's get back to it. We could use yeah, so I drink.
Wait. Back it up. What did you just share?
I shared that I'm down 3 pounds. And I can only imagine, like, I keep thinking, I think like the big turning point for me was literally, I don't know if you're 90 days or 120 days. How long did it take you?
103 days.
Okay. So I just thought about that because in our businesses, like we think about in 90-day increments or in 30-day increments, right? And I'm like, I could commit to something for that long to have that big of a change. Like I see you every day. And so I see the change, but I don't really see the change. So I'm like really excited to like see you to see that change. Right. But yeah, so the Lose It app is it's Peloton on steroids because I can do Peloton, but it's on the Lose It app, meaning just, marking my exercise. I have been drinking 64 ounces of water consistently. It's interesting each day, the micro shifts that are made. Instead of drinking so much vitamin D milk, I'm like, oh, I'll save those calories.
Oh, that is the thing. That is when you see it, you remember the calories, right? When you record it, it's almost like someone knew what they were doing when they said, write it down, track what you're doing. And you start deciding based on, right? Because I cut out milk completely. So like my morning coffee before I started tracking everything was about 95 calories. Okay. I've got it down to 23. Ooh. And it's better than ever. It's still latte, essentially. Mm-hmm. It's vanilla almond milk and I use monk fruit for the sugar, which is a 0-calorie natural sweetener. And I still froth my milk, the almond milk. And that's it. And it's espresso, right? So that's a couple calories. And some mornings, like I'll even eat, like my sister made tiramisu pie and there was leftover, right? So like, instead of a glass of milk, I can have pie.
But that's all you're doing, you're making tweaks to what you're already eating. It's not crazy stuff. It's not stuff I have to go find. It's not like stuff that I'm going to like lose all this weight and then I'm going to turn around and gain it all back. It is a choice. I mean, you're 90 days ahead of me. Well, more than 90, 100 days ahead of me, but I can only imagine like the choices that I'll be making at that point.
Yeah. So like for me, it was banking, like I'm like a calorie computer now where, I know this is a permanent lifestyle switch, right? I didn't give up pizza. I didn't give up sushi. Like we go to Costco and Adam wants to split a hot dog and churro and ice cream every single time. I know what that totals and I can plan for it. And, when I went to visit you, like I brought my bag of spinach. And so like you find things like I love spinach already, but like spinach is so easy to mix in anything to make it sort of like a heartier meal. But you can have a whole cup of spinach, cooked spinach, and it's still 40 calories. So, it's like, and I told you what we did with the ranch. The ranch was like 100 calories for a couple tablespoons, and we just switched to homemade. And I cut the calories even further again with almond milk. So it's like 25 calories for what a serving is going to go on a salad now instead of like 300. So it's pretty huge.
But okay, so now like all like calorie talk aside, it was interesting because last night I was in a community that we are a part of, and I was looking at their copy, and their copy, I don't know if their copy is directly related to me, but I thought it was interesting because I shared it with you. It is about weight loss, but it's not necessarily about weight loss. It's about a healthier, like they were like so focused on like weight loss for moms, right? And I'm like, is it really weight loss for moms, or is it a healthier lifestyle, more energy, and just like thinking into the future? I mean, let's face it, I don't care if you're 30, 40, or 50. If you injure yourself at each one of those stages, it's going to take you a little bit longer to recover, right? From whatever that injury is. And I'm just kind of like thinking down the road, I'm like, I want to go hiking. I want to go biking. I don't want to be like, when I get out of bed and stuff. And so part of that is just a healthier lifestyle. So yeah, we'll have to check in.
Yeah. I love this. I love this, that it's like, okay, it's, you inspired me to make a commitment because you were so like devoted to the Peloton. And so I was like, I got to find something. Right. And so, swimming put me over the edge. And the thing is, like in the last month, I really haven't been able to swim as much because we had spring break, we've been traveling, and we've had a couple projects, but and it's interesting that you mentioned, it's the weight loss part of it is fabulous, but it wasn't the thing that pushed me over the edge. The thing that pushed me over the edge was I knew I was getting older, and the thought, and my dad just moved in with us. So I'm sure, there's a lot of things where I'm looking to the future. And with Adam, if sometimes I have to help him balance or whatever like that. So like, I'm really conscious of like, if I fall, someone in my family is going to have to pick me up. And the boys are in high school. They're lifting weights and things like that. And they want to pick me up all the time. And I'm like, you can't, no. Right. And then they do it anyway. And it still surprises me. But now it's almost like I wanted to be as fit as possible going into like the next 40 years of my life. But I was looking at this as like, I told myself it was so hard, and that's why I never did it for the past 10 years. And so now here I am in my 40s, and it's like, it's going to be even harder, but now's when you decide to do it. But here we are. But it's permanent, right? It's not one of those, like, as soon as we go back to our normal ways, it's gone. I'm 10 pounds away from my wedding weight. And it's almost like, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah. When you said that, then I thought my wedding weight, and I was like, all right, game on, Cassie Brown, game on. I was like, and I even told Daniel, and you saw that little, like with Daniel, you saw that little like smile, and I'm like, okay, whatever, game on. I got you. Don't ever challenge me. Right. And I think like,
you're not competitive at all.
Not at all. So I'm going to be a hot homeschooling soccer mom.
That's right. Right. We were hot mamas before.
That was the identity that we embraced at the beginning of the year. So why not go all in?
Yeah, I know. I will say it is funny because, and I'm glad I made the decisions the way that I made the decisions, because it wasn't so that Adam would be like, wow, I've got a sexy hot wife. Like, that's just a really cool benefit, because he's like, this is amazing. And it's just so funny. Because, we got married, what I was 22, right? So, I mean, like college. And I'm so dang proud, because now I'm going into the decade of my 40s,
Mm-hmm.
mentally stronger than I've ever been in my entire life.
Oh yeah.
And like physically healthier than I was in my 20s, because that was just a byproduct of being 20. I'm sure I ate junk, right? And just I want my kids to, like, I want to keep the energy and the pace with my kids. That's another thing too.
I've always said that. And I mean, Daniel, I mean, maybe a couple of pounds that he has gained. Um, and we will be married 29 years this year. And so, with every baby, like you said, I mean, you verbalized, it's funny. So as you were going through the process of the Lose It app, we were also going through the process of the whole like doubling down on YouTube and working through that process. And I guess two things. One, when's the best time to start? Well, today. Don't wait till the 1st, don't wait till the 15th, all of my A-type personality folks. And then the second is that we talked about this earlier this week, and like the hundreds of conversations that we've had, is that whatever works for you in your life, you can apply it to your business. And whatever works for you in your business, you can apply it to your life. They're not exclusive, and don't compartmentalize them. And for me, I don't even know. Like I say, like a visual, I'm saying like I was like obsessed with a Peloton blue dot. And it just, I don't know what it was, Cassie. I think it was you and the amount of days. I was literally driving home when I had some time to think, dropping Maggie off at school. I can commit to that period of time to get this result. And, thank you. Thank you, because it's possible. Like, it's inspiring, right? And so, I mean, I think there are lots of lessons that we could pull out of this. Like, share your journey. Doesn't matter what you're doing, where you are, how hard it is, share it, because you will inspire somebody.
Yeah. And the thing about that is, like, when I decided, we talk about decide, declare, do. And when I decided, I didn't know it was going to take 103 days. I was to the point where I was making a lot of changes in my life. And I was like, I don't care if it takes me a whole year, a whole year of this commitment, with the possibility of the result. Because still, like, I was like, in my mind, 30 pounds is a lot of freaking weight, right? Like, and I want to do it. I want it. Right. But it was the commitment of tracking the calories that I was like, okay, mathematically and scientifically, this app says if I maintain this level of calories, I will reach my goal.
Yeah.
So, like, the voices in my head that were like, you're crazy, right? This is a lot of weight. And you haven't been able to even, like, this was a commitment that was so scary to even speak out loud. And you, like, this was the internal dialogue. But so it was really putting that commitment in the app and just believing in the science of it, and not having to have it all figured out, and not knowing exactly what I was going to eat, or like, it was just, okay, what's in my fridge now, right? I've got fresh broccoli, spinach, and carrots, right? Like, and even with swimming, it was like, I don't know how this is going to work or fit in or whatever. And so my biggest thing was like, I don't want to create a lifestyle that I cannot maintain.
Yeah.
So like for me, daily calories was the most important, because there may come a time where I'm not able to swim every day, or I'm not able to go for a mile walk a day. And so I wanted exercise to be a bonus. So there was like a hierarchy of what I was going for, but it was really like, okay, at the end of the day, if this takes me a year, I'm better off. And then, just like with you with the 3 pounds, like when I first was really, really focused, I think I did like 5 pounds in the first week, and I was like, holy heck, I can do this. Right. Like at that point, it was done, where it was like, okay, I decided, I'm trusting in the plan, not knowing all of my details. And then when my plan worked for the first week, and there were some days where it was like, I didn't think I was going to get to the next milestone. It was so frustrating. Like my biggest fear was getting down to that last 5 pounds and dialing it down and being able to reach that. And, and some weeks, like you would go back up 3, right? That's just women's bodies, and it was just one of those things, but I committed to, it'll take as long as it takes. And my goal is my goal, and I am important. And I didn't have to have I certainly didn't have everything figured out at all, but it was like everything we talk about, like the daily reps, putting in the reps, because by week 2, I'm like, not touching that, not touching that, not touching that.
I mean, you just start to make choices. And I think, interestingly, so we both started with the app, and I've used the app before. Maggie used the app before she went to school. But I used it once, and I knew, I'm using air quotes, I knew what it looked like. And I wasn't like measuring, I wasn't doing, I was just kind of going off what was in my brain, instead of that physical, like entering in. So that was one thing. And I got really frustrated because I'm like, I'm not moving on the scale. Like I would randomly go look, and I would get frustrated by that. And it just kept being more apparent to me, like what we think and what is reality are 2 really different things. When I started like the blue dot, then I was highlighting on my calendar, and what I thought I had worked out, I really didn't. When I look back, I was like, oh, wow, I'm not being as consistent as I thought I was, right? And the other interesting part of that was, a lot of times in business, our clients will be like, what if, what if, what if? And I think I'm in a phase of my life with my health, like there's no reason that I don't focus on it. There's no reason that I'm not exercising on a daily. But I also suffer from migraines, and we go through like weather changes and things like that. And it's a really bad time for me. And so it's not a what if, it's, I know this is going to happen. So therefore, how can I go ahead and just plan for that? And you make a pivot. You make a pivot and you make it work because you've made the commitment.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that too, because and it's the same thing that we talk about in our business coaching, where stop carrying everything around in your brain, right? Because we think we're going to be able to manage everything, right? Mm-hmm. And we have good intentions, but it's not possible. But when you shared that, you're like, reality is really different than what you think. And Adam had a meeting coming up where he was traveling to San Diego. So it was an in-person meeting, and he was taking out his pants, and he got really frustrated because his pants didn't fit and he was going to have to order new ones. But the meeting was a couple months away. So he's like, I'm just going to lose 15 pounds, which for men, honestly, like it ticks me off, but it's usually easier, right? So he started, and, he made the declaration. He told me what his plans were, and I was already, keeping pace with the app. And I wasn't his favorite person this day, because I said, you may want to start using the app to track your calories. I've lost 50 pounds before. I know how to count calories. Counting calories is exactly how I lost my weight before. Don't tell me what to do. And I was like, okay, that's fine. A couple days later, he was back on the app and he was like, wow. Because he was trying to carry everything in his head.
Yeah.
And he wasn't always looking at the back to see exactly what the calories were. He was just remembering, like, and he lost 50 pounds. Like Hudson just turned 16. So that's how long ago it was. Mm-hmm. So we forget. And when it's right in front of us and tallying it up, like, if you just grab a handful of grapes, that's 60 calories. And before he started counting, when he was on chemo, he would snack on nuts. Well, nuts are healthy. Everyone says to always eat nuts. They're a good source of protein. Well, a handful of nuts are like 250 calories. Mm-hmm. And if you're grabbing a handful several times throughout the day, all of a sudden you're 1,000 calories over your daily. And that is a problem.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing with the app that I really, really love, so you're talking about the counting the calorie, is that it literally, like, whatever package, like whoever did this app, like, I think we need to go and talk to them, because it literally, you can hold whatever item it is and you hold your phone over and it scans it and you look and you can adjust how much in terms of the serving that you have, which will then adjust the calorie, which then will adjust what you're doing. And all of this is based on your goal, right? It's not something that, I think we're talking, weight loss. I think my goal is like a 1.5 pounds a week. That's healthy. That is a healthy lifestyle. It's not like, and they give you all kinds, like really aggressive, but even with the aggressive, they say, I don't want to say that they don't say it's healthy, but they just say that they say something. I don't know. It's in red. I can't remember.
Yeah, they walk you through the choices. I took the aggressive route because it's like, I need to prove this crap to me. And if I can survive this way, I can do anything.
Yeah, I took the aggressive. No, I was the middle. When, like, on the sales page, I was like most popular. Like, that's the one. What I've selected. But here's the thing too, and it's funny. Oh my gosh. It will also allow you, I think we're selling the app and we're recording an episode and we didn't.
I know. And what the interesting thing is, their affiliate program ended like the week I started. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay because it's a solid app. And what I'm realizing is the way that it compares to the other ones out there on the market. Cause I asked my friends, what app do you use?
Yeah.
And I had used this one before, so I was familiar with it. So that was one that was recommended. And then MyFitnessPal, I think, was another one. And so I was looking into that. I mean, MyFitnessPal was the one that was everyone was chiming in for. And I messaged my friend. I was like, you pay $80 a year to use this app? I mean, we're the app generations where it's 99 cents to download for life. Right. Yeah. And so I was like, I don't know about that. I'm going to check out Lose It again. And then they made an offer that was like $20 for the year. I was like, yes, I'm worth $20. Like, let's do it. And then, now it's like $140 lifetime or something like that. And I'm about to pull the trigger on that because it's like, why not? Because I'm in a routine.
But one of the things, just really quickly, that I wanted to mention, which I'm excited about, we're recording towards the end of the week here, is that you can adjust and have more calories, like if you want to, on like a Friday, Saturday, or if you're a Saturday, Sunday. And so I looked at that and I was like, ooh, that's exciting.
So that's the option that Adam took, right? Yeah. Yeah. Which is why when we go to Costco on the weekends, he's like, hot dogs and churros, baby. And I am like, you're the devil. You're evil.
Oh my gosh. Well, Farah and her, are you guys still doing Sushi Wednesday?
Yeah, we had sushi this Wednesday.
All right. Well, this is one of those unplanned episodes, but at the beginning of my journey, quarter way through Cassie's journey. So we'll have to obviously do a follow-up episode.
Yeah, we will definitely keep pace. I'm so proud of you, Rhonda. And I know all of the trickle down benefits of just deciding like that I feel like the last quarter of last year, I was in such like a fog that it felt good to start making some clear decisions. And this was one of them. But the thing about it is like once you get this formula, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, once you get this formula, it's repeatable in every aspect of your life and your business, because this is the same formula that we've applied to growing a multi six-figure business in essentially the same amount of time, less like 100 days, right? It's the same thing where I made the decision. I'm not just going to scroll through social media. I want the kids to see a hard copy book in my hand instead of a device all of the time. When we went on spring break, I used to barely read. I mean, I love to read and listen to audiobooks, but like maybe I'd get to 1 to 2 a month. I did like 4 in a week just because of deciding and filling in the gap with that new habit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know habits is something that we've explored before on the podcast and we've shared. But I think it's essential and is probably, you know, coming up in the next several episodes just to dive deeper, because it's the simplicity of the pattern of a habit. And then you essentially, you build that like a muscle, but it's also trusting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right,
that's what we got.
I like this episode. It was very unexpected. I did not know that we were going to do this morning.
So. Coffee talk episode. My coffee cup's gone. But
well, my second, and I do 2 now a day. I actually like, I don't drink as much coffee anymore, so that's great.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll have to give you because you like creamer too, so I'll have to give you my recipe. But yeah, so thanks for pacing along with us. Thank you for, you know, just sharing behind the scenes of, you know, not only our journey in life, but, you know, our mission for impact. So we will catch you on the next episode. Definitely be sure to subscribe and share, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you click the first link in the description, Freedom to Impact, for any of the resources that we've talked about in today's video. You'll also be able to find our Customers for Life podcast. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and we'll talk soon.